right, welcome back to the TNT show. We're back with our recap and predictions. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Tyler take it over.
Pretty eventful week, college football. I think there were a lot of closer games than we quite predicted. Starting with Georgia and Kentucky, Kentucky gave Georgia a run for their money, gave them everything they wanted, just
And
couldn't
see, I
score
don't even,
touchdowns.
I don't even think I don't even, did we even talk about this game?
We
We might
did.
not
We
have.
we predicted blowouts. You predicted 63 to
Oh, that's
10.
right.
I predicted 48 to
That's
13.
right. That's right. Yeah, Kentucky did everything they were supposed to do. I mean, the defense played great. I mean, Georgia's found a way to win.
Kentucky
Um,
just couldn't score. Kicking
when I,
field
wa- I
goals was
actually
about it.
I actually watched the game, and at the point where they kicked that last field goal, and the commentators made a good point. It's like fourth, and I think it was like fourth and one, fourth and two. You got to go for it. I mean, the game is on the line basically. The field goal's not gonna get you a win. A team like
Yeah.
Georgia is gonna find a way to win, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah. Um, yeah, pretty good point. Yeah, when you're playing what are they, the number one team right now, right?
I think they dropped to number two just because of the close game with
But yeah,
Kentucky, but
you're playing a top five team, and
yeah,
you've got them on the ropes. Yeah, you gotta hit them with it at least. Yes, just go for it. I mean, what you got to lose?
yeah, just gotta find a way to
Um,
win it.
right. Speaking of finding a way to win it, LSU found a way to beat South Carolina. It was a
Ah,
really, really good game. I think
oh yeah,
personally, we had a couple chances, went for it on fourth down twice and couldn't get it. But I mean, if we'd have scored right there, I mean, it probably wouldn't have even been a close game. But their quarterback got hurt, so Robbie Ashford just
I
I don't
mean.
know. He's not a very good quarterback.
Another game that I watched, I think if South Carolina doesn't get that ticky tack blindside block, obviously, I mean, it should have never happened anyways. Quarterback wasn't gonna get over to the ball. They had a pick
Right.
six that would have sealed the game. So South Carolina just took away opportunities from themselves. But like you said, too, a quarterback got hurt. It's a totally different offense when you put Robbie Ashford in there. They just Ah, they had a shot. They had their chance, and
But I
it
liked
just
what I've
didn't.
seen. We were down 17-0, and we come back to win. So that can show that, we have the grit and we can come back. Because
Uh,
supposedly, according to Game Day, South Carolina had the best defense in the
I
SEC.
I would not. LSU can't get down like that against Ole Miss or even Alabama or whoever else they play. A lot of those teams are going to be way better offensively than South Carolina. So if they get down early, it's going to be bad news.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people say that the refs, helped it bailed LSU out. I don't think so.
Nah, they
I'm
I
not
don't
trying
think
to I'm not
nobody.
trying to be biased, but that it was rough in the passer or late hit, personal foul, whatever you want to say. I mean, he hit him. He didn't need to do that.
Yeah, I mean he pretty
Let
much
me
took
let
the
me
game
promise.
away
I
from.
promise you. I promise you. Garrett Nussmeier was not going to run him down.
Yeah, nah, he definitely. You could see like as the pick was happening, it was just a cheap shot on the quarterback. I don't know why you would do that if y'all were literally about to seal the game with that
But
pick
at the
six.
same time, they still missed the field goal at the end of the game. So whether however you want to look at it, they still missed the field goal.
Yeah, I'm just coming at it more from the point of if not for that one play specifically, I think South Carolina wins the game. Now, I feel like the game was called pretty evenly. I don't think the refs went in favor of anybody. Obviously, there were some missed calls, but what refs don't miss calls in games nowadays? It's happens every weekend. Um, Great game. South Carolina, like I said, they had the opportunity, and just unfortunate that it didn't go their way. LSU,
Um,
like you said, tough team. They were down 17, came back against a really good defense. Um, yeah, I think my point still stands. They can't do that against a team that is far better offensively than South Carolina,
I liked
especially
what I
with.
seen from our freshman running back too. He was.
Oh yeah, that's
I think we're figuring it out.
yeah. I
Caden
think he's y'all
Durham.
running back one. He's y'all running back one going forward. He was running with purpose. He was running behind his pads. He definitely said, "Hey, I want the carries. Let me get them." He definitely proved his point.
Yeah, because they kind of pulled him a few times, and then like they say, if you hot and you rolling, hey, I'm leaving you in there, dog.
Oh yeah, got to.
Um, Obviously Alabama blew out Wisconsin. Tyler Van Dyke did tear
See,
his ACL. I seen the report today. He tore his ACL.
that's tough. And see, I honestly wanted to see that game with him playing the whole time because obviously, if you get a backup, the game's totally different. Totally
Right?
different
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as far as Alabama goes, offensively, I like what I saw as a whole. I mean, because you're still playing Wisconsin's defense. Um, Defensively, I think the secondary is still a question mark because again, the quarterback, with him being a backup, he missed some big plays that the secondary would have given up. The defensive line, I still like to see. I mean, obviously, you get some pressures and you get a few sacks, but you still like to see more from them.
Yeah. Yeah. They got a big test coming up in 2 weeks. They got to buy. So the Missouri Boston College game was really good. Missouri squeaked out a win themselves.
Oh yeah, they played way better in that second half than they did in the first, and again that's another team where this isn't even a conference game for them. So if they get down like that in a conference game, it's hard to say they can come back from something like that.
Um, Florida, they're in shambles right now. I wouldn't be surprised if Billy Napier doesn't make it through the season.
They lose one or two more games, he's definitely getting fired. They'll buy him out of the contract. It's not worth it.
I think Florida State's uh, Pat McAfee. I think it was Pat McAfee. It was him or Shannon Sharp said that Florida State's coach Billy Nate or not Billy Napier, Mike Vrabel. No, oh, I'm just making up names now. I'm just saying stuff. Whatever the coach's name is for Florida State. What's his name?
Mike Norvell. Mike Norvell.
Norvell. Why did I say Mike Vrabel? But anyway, his buyout is $65 million for Florida State. That's a lot of money to eat.
See, I think his situation's a little different because he
I
just
don't
lost
know,
his
man.
whole he lost his whole team.
But you brought in all this talent. You paid $1.8 million. They gave Memphis $1.8 million to get drugged.
I, See, man, I
When
think
you
his
put it in
situation.
that perspective, it's tough because I'm benching DJ. I'm benching DJ. I gotta see what it is. Is it him? I mean, at some
Well,
point, I mean, honestly, the way I look at it, it can't get any. You're losing games. It can't get any worse. You're
according to
three
the
and 0.
coach,
You're 0-3 right now.
according to the
So
coach, DJ is giving them a chance to win games. That's what he said. So,
I don't see it. I mean, you've lost 3 weeks in a row to 2 weeks in a row. Let me put that 2 weeks in a row. Boston College, obviously, they're a pretty good team. They gave Missouri, a top five team, a run for their money. So, excluding Boston College, you've lost back to back weeks to terrible teams. You paid Memphis $1.8 million to get drugged. They're suck.
Yeah, I mean, now that Georgia Tech game was a walk-off field goal, so I mean, uh, I don't know. I mean, both games that they lost, the Memphis game was one possession. The Georgia Tech game was one possession. The only game where they completely got dominated was Boston College. And it's fair to say Boston College is a pretty good football team because
Yeah, they just hung
they
in there
kind of,
with a top five team.
yeah. So I, I don't. Like I
But
said, I
yeah,
just think that situation is different because they pretty much overhauled their entire team and just expected these transfer portal guys to come in and make that much of a difference. I think that's in some ways that's kind of the nature of football right now, but at the same time, like look at a lot of those guys that they brought. Roy Dale Williams, who was splitting carries at Alabama, which he looked pretty good over there, but situation's not always the same once you go to a different school. The same thing with DJ. And DJ was already fairly up and down at Oregon State, one could say. And he comes to Florida State, much tougher competition, and he just looks kind of like how he did at Clemson. So I don't know. Is it him? Is it the offense? I don't know.
I'm gonna bench him at least one game. I mean, you're losing. Your seasons are it's a wrap now. I'm at least gonna give it a go. Why not? You ain't got
I mean,
nothing
you
to
like
lose
you
at this
said,
point.
yeah, couldn't get any worse.
I mean, yeah. If you get blowed out, well, at least you know it's not him.
Yeah.
Um, Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers is hurt. They don't play anybody this week, so they don't really necessarily need him. But Arch Manning came in and was dicing. I know they didn't play nobody. They played. I don't even know who they played.
I think it was UTSA.
Yeah, some high school team. Yeah,
I mean, regardless though, I mean, he was out there. He was those passes he were the passes he was putting up looked really really good for a backup quarterback. I mean, he was throwing some dimes out there. I will definitely
yeah.
say that.
I don't know how long Quinn Ewers is going to be out, but Sarkeesian said that their Arch Manning is ready and they will roll with him. If I wonder if, say for instance, Quinn Ewers is out for a couple weeks, do they and Arch Manning comes in and just takes over? Do they put Arch Manning back on the bench? I think
Yeah,
you
they
have
do.
to.
They definitely gonna do that because Quinn Ewers he was definitely they got two really good quarterbacks. Let's just say that Quinn Ewers was cooking. He been cooking since pretty much coming into the season, pretty much right where he left off last season. Even though they lost to Washington, but still he was cooking in that game too.
But we're fixing to get into the SEC slate in the next couple weeks. We'll get away from these cupcake games. Um,
Yeah, now the real test begins.
yep. So starting off with week 4, prediction wise, we put this down. I don't think it's gonna be much of a game. They just lost to Georgia State. We were talking about Missouri and Vandy. Uh,
You never
you
know.
never know. It is SEC ball, but I think Missouri will. I think they'll handle business. But there's a lot of speculations on like how good teams really are. Like Ole Miss hadn't played anybody. I mean, Missouri just struggled with Boston College.
Exactly. I mean, it's gonna sound crazy
Tennessee,
to say this. It's gonna sound crazy to say this. I don't think Vandy's gonna win, of course, but I think Missouri is definitely gonna be in a dogfight with them. I mean, they pretty much were struggling against Boston College. So I think if Vandy comes out and plays some good football on both sides, which I think through the first 3 games, we're just not gonna. I'm not gonna talk about Georgia State. I didn't watch the game. I didn't see how they played. I just know they lost to a fairly inferior team in my opinion. I think they come out angry about that and they give Mizzou a good fight.
Let's see what the score was to that. They got beat 36-32.
Yeah. So obviously offensively they can score, but defensively they got some work to do. But my prediction I'm gonna say 28 Missouri 21 Vandy.
Yeah, I agree. Um, Auburn plays Arkansas. I think that'll be a pretty good game. I think Hank Brown will get his first start. I mean, I know he started in the New Mexico game, but that doesn't count.
Um, hmm,
I think they're going to ride with
I
Hank Brown. He looked a
I think
lot
I might.
more. Arkansas struggled with UAB, so I don't. I think Auburn's definitely more a lot better team than UAB on paper.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna roll with Arkansas on this one, but that's just because Taylor
It's the
Green. I mean, for
quarterback.
him, yeah, he's not.
It's the quarterback for Auburn. It's just that whole situation that Auburn's got going on. That who's it going to be? Is it going to be Peyton Thorne? It might be both. I don't know.
Nah, Peyton Thorne does not need to step on the field as a starter for the rest of the season. If you
It's
got
like
to
my
go
dad.
to the
It's like
third
my dad
string,
said today. Peyton Thorne obviously isn't going to go pro. He won't get drafted. He might go. He'll go pro, but he won't get drafted. So what? There's no point. There's just no
yeah,
point.
he's not my starter at any point for the rest of the season. Like I said, I'll go to the third string if I got to.
Yeah,
But yeah, for me, I'm gonna go Arkansas in that game just because they have a nice dual threat quarterback. Obviously, he's much right now from what I saw, he's a much better runner than he is a passer. Um, because he struggled passing the ball against UAB, and I mean that's saying a lot. So I think if he can come out and
I
find
think
success,
UAB's got them a solid little team though, for real.
but it's still UAB though. I'm sorry, I'm not finna. This is SEC ball versus Group of Five. No game should be close whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I think if he comes out and finds success through the air, comes out if that, and if he can obviously continue to do what he's been doing on the ground, I think Arkansas can win. I'm gonna say 35-21. Their defense just has to play some really good sound football too.
Yeah. LSU plays UCLA. Um, I think we'll beat them by a decent margin. I don't think UCLA is very good. They just got blowed out by Indiana. But
Yeah.
you can never take these kind of games right here. This is I'm gonna put this as a trap game for us. We can't come in slouching, but it is our first home game, I think.
So I don't
We
think
played Nichols at home, but
I don't think y'all will come out.
we're favored by 25.
Yeah, no, I don't think y'all gonna come out and slouch at all because y'all are kind of just in a dogfight with South Carolina. So I think that's gonna prepare y'all to come out there and punch UCLA in the mouth early and
Yeah.
kind of run
I
away
think we
with the
handle
game.
business.
Yeah. Prediction wise, I'm gonna say 42-10. I feel like y'all found who y'all's running back one is, so y'all go to him probably early, kind of see what he's looking like. And Nuss Marsh is gonna do what he does. He's gonna spin the ball around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 42-10. We're gonna say 42-10.
Defense is playing better.
Y'all they still need some work,
Yeah,
especially
but
that
we're
run
getting better
defense.
though.
Especially the
Yeah.
run defense.
Yeah. Um, we got Tennessee, Oklahoma. I think that's going to be a really good game. We're going to see if this hype around Tennessee is really all that.
That's probably going to be the game of the week right there for sure. Tennessee has a very explosive offense. Um, the downfield passing, Nico is playing really good right now. He keep that up, he'll be in Heisman talks. Um, I think this is Oklahoma's game to prove that they're ready for SEC ball because Tennessee is going to be they will be a tough team to beat.
Yeah,
Um,
but then again, they haven't played anybody. I mean,
yeah,
they were
I
up
mean,
65 to nothing at halftime last week. So,
there's a few teams who haven't played anybody, but you still can't take away from how dynamic the teams are. Tennessee's put
oh
up a
yeah,
great defense, like what the past 3 seasons, and I think they're continuing that run so far. Um,
I'm about to say
Oklahoma,
they've only given up 13 points in 3 games.
I
They've
think I'm gonna go
pitched
with Tennessee on this
they've
one.
pitched shutouts pretty much in the last 3 games. They won 71 to nothing, 51 to 10, and 70 to 3. So, I mean, they're scoring 60 points. They're scoring 50 points.
Yeah, I mean the only ranked team they played in that whole thing was NC State. It was like number 24 at the time. So
Yeah.
I mean, mm, you'll really see if Tennessee's the real deal if they go out there and beat Oklahoma by like 30.
Yeah. If
Personally,
they
I
beat
don't
them
I
by
don't see
30, yeah,
that
buckle
happening.
up.
I don't see that happening though. I think this is gonna be like more of a come down to earth game for Tennessee. I think they squeak out a win. I'm gonna say 27-21.
It might be a shootout, to be honest.
Could be,
I
you never
don't
know.
think so because Tennessee's got a really good defense. I mean, they've only given up 13 points in 3 games. I mean, these teams aren't even scoring, even on their smaller schools.
Yeah, yeah. That's my prediction. I say 27-21. I think, like I said, Tennessee. I think they squeak it out. They find a way
Uh,
to win.
yeah. USC Michigan play. That'll be a really good game to see how good USC really is. I think they'll beat Michigan.
Michigan, they benched their starter. They're gonna
I've
go with
seen that. Yep. They're going to
yeah,
go with Orgery or whatever his name is.
yeah. I think honestly, I don't think he'll be any better just because if he was, he would have been a starter from day one. I mean, the knock on him is that he can't really pass the football that great. He's really just a running quarterback. So I think he comes out to prove a point against USC. Now, I don't think Michigan will win. Um, I think USC probably wins this game by 10. Uh, I think it'll be low scoring because obviously Michigan's defense is pretty good still. So I'm probably gonna
I'm gonna
say
say 20. I'm gonna say 20 to 10.
I was gonna say the same thing. That's funny. Yeah, I say 20-10. I just don't think Michigan will have enough. I don't think they'll put up enough points. I don't understand where they unless they just go back to. Honestly, I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, running the ball has been far and few and in between. They're supposed to be star running back, isn't even the starter. It's just they got a lot going on. I don't know.
But USC's defense. If I'm Michigan, I'm running the ball because LSU was moving the ball till John Emery got hurt. He was gashing them.
It's
So if
true.
I'm them, I'm running it. I'm running it down their throat.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
that's why they're starting that quarterback because he can run.
Well, honestly, they're starting him because the other quarterback he was bad. I just don't understand how he made it all the way to week 4 as the starter.
Yeah. Alabama's obviously got a bye. Georgia obviously has a bye, and then next week it'll be the battle in where's that game at? Is it in
Tuscaloosa.
Tuscaloosa?
Hmm.
So I think that'll be That's going to be a really, really good game right there.
Yeah, that
So,
game will be probably, I'd say probably game of the year.
I don't know. I don't know about game of the year, but it's going to be really good. This will probably determine who's going to win the SEC.
I mean, yes and no.
Well, no,
Uh,
because if Tennessee beats Oklahoma by 20 or 30 points, yeah, Tennessee's going to be tough to beat.
yeah, Tennessee is. I'm really ready to see what they look like in conference play.
Yeah, but Alabama and Georgia playing, I mean, that loss right there is going to hurt no matter who it's to or whoever it is. That loss is going to hurt,
I mean, not
especially now.
necessarily, not necessarily, because if you think about it, they don't have divisions anymore, so it's the top two teams in the conference play for the conference title. So
It would be in Georgia's benefit to lose. They have a tougher schedule, so they have a better swing on it than
they both
Alabama
have really
does.
tough schedules. Both schedules are really tough. I think either team can afford to lose the game, but then they have to win out.
It just can't be bad. Like Georgia couldn't get beat by 20, and Alabama can't get beat by 20. They need to keep it close
I'm not gonna lie to you. Honestly, I think either team could get blowed out and still make the playoffs. Doesn't really matter. It's just one game, and it's like week four.
Yeah, I
So
mean, like you said, yeah, they just have to win out.
yeah, whoever loses really just has to win out. You can't really afford to lose another game.
I think you could lose 2 games. It just depends on who it's to.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And it just yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you're right.
Because if Alabama loses to Georgia and then somehow lost another game, I think they'd still make it depending on who it's to.
Yeah, I mean, if they lost to like Georgia, let's say they lost to Tennessee or like Ole Miss, those are like clear playoff teams at this point in the season. So I think with two losses, I think there's a good chance an SEC team with two losses can get into the playoffs over like let's say another Power Five team who didn't lose to two teams that were top 10 or 15 teams.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Alabama will get the rest, get people healthy. They're going to need it.
Yeah, because they did have a few injuries to some key players in that Wisconsin game. So that bye week is definitely going to be pretty big, pretty big.
Yeah, they're going to need it, especially on the offensive line. Because,
Oh, well, honestly, the offensive line looked good. Nobody got hurt. Everybody was healthy. They were running the ball effectively. Everything looked. Oh man, I can't wait to talk about that Georgia game. I
yeah,
think that'll
that's
be
going to
a
be a good
good.
game. But that's pretty much all I got for week 4. Not a whole lot of not a whole lot of good teams. The next couple weeks we'll be getting into obviously we'll be getting into the SEC slates. Florida plays Mississippi State, but I think Florida will get the win there because Mississippi State they're god awful. They got blown
Uh,
out by Toledo.
Florida's pretty bad too, though. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, yeah, they've had I guess tougher competition in their games.
If they lose to Mississippi State, that's probably gonna be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, but I just don't see that happening though. I mean, like you said, Mississippi State got blown out by Toledo. There should be no reason that Florida drops a game to them. If they lose that game, they're definitely firing
Billy
old Billy.
Napier.
They're gonna get Billy. They're gonna get Billy up out of there.
Yeah, like you said, he's probably got a couple more games because they're not just losing; they're getting blown out in their losses.
Yeah, they did get blown out by Texas A&M. They only scored 7 points.
Yeah, and they can't really make excuses because Lagway played not the whole game. but he played.
Yeah, but that's a tough game to ask your freshman quarterback to come
Yeah,
out and like ball out in.
yeah. A&M's got them a good team, solid defense, really good defense. So,
Yeah,
but that's pretty
their
much all I
backup
got.
look good too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That backup quarterback they got for A&M, yeah, he
Their
looked
backup
pretty
look,
good. So,
yeah, he looked pretty good. I can't lie to you. He was out there.
so Connor Wegman might want to be looking into the transfer portal because that backup quarterback they got looked pretty good. I don't know if I
Man,
don't know
he
if
was
I
out
bench
there
him.
breaking ankles, dropping dimes. Hey, Connor Wigman,
Yeah,
he gonna have to. He better step it up.
yeah. Oh, for sure. Especially if I'm not sure who A&M plays this week, but say they come out and let me see who they play. Oh, they play Bowling Green, so they'll beat them by 70. So
Yeah.
they'll probably play their backup in that just to see, make sure, get him some reps. But yeah, I mean, we got
Well,
some good football coming up.
oh yeah. This is. I mean, we just really just now getting started with all the really good games. I think it's gonna be a full season of blockbuster highlights, big time games, and I mean, we get to start it off with a bang with Bama, Georgia. I mean, you got Tennessee, Oklahoma this week. It's gonna be a lot of good games coming on. It's gonna be a lot of good football to watch. I'm excited to see how these playoffs are gonna shape up and who walks away with that national championship trophy in January. Um, Again, I still feel like it's too early to tell who a clear favorite is, just because everybody's just now starting more of the conference play. You kind of seeing what a lot of teams really look like. So you know, a lot of things are getting exposed. Like a good example is Georgia's run defense. Georgia definitely got it. They're going to have to clean that up, or Alabama's going to run all over them.
Yep.
Um, Alabama's secondary, big question mark. Another good example. Like, can we, can our secondary hold up against really good offenses like Georgia's? Or is Carson Beck going to dissect them for about the 400 or 500 yards passing?
Oh
Just stuff
yeah.
like that. Um, Yeah, all in all, that's all we got for y'all today. We appreciate y'all tuning in, listening to us. As always, um, just continue to like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna continue trucking, working towards that 100 subscribers, followers, all that good stuff. And yeah, that's all we got for y'all today. And we'll catch y'all on the next one.